She stood frozen in her steps. She couldn't believe what they had done to their daughter. Their little girl was only 7 years old, and they decided to punish her so harshly for something so small. This all happened because of the way the little girl decided to write down her name on a test paper. She couldn't stand for this. She knew she had to make them pay. Alyssa was an ordinary 7-year-old girl. She loved her parents, would giggle at most things, and loved the color pink. But she knew how to do one thing that the other kids didn't. But it would lead Alyssa to a harsh reprimanding that no one would believe. Alyssa came from a loving household. Her mother Jennifer and her father James were always tried their best to give her the things they couldn't have when they grew up. This included a decent education. But one day they would find something out surprising about the school they chose for their daughter. While most 7-year-olds would scrawl their name at the top of their papers, Alyssa was different. Her mother wanted her to have the best start in life, so she decided to teach her a trick or two. But it seems a petty teacher wouldn't stand for one of the tricks that Alyssa was taught by her mother. Alyssa's teacher would take one look at how she wrote her name and would target her for her individuality. In her eyes, she had done nothing wrong, just what her mother had taught her. But it seems that the targeted criticism wouldn't only offend little Alyssa, but the one who had taught her how to write her name, her mother. The school had a zero-tolerance policy when it came to warnings. This meant that even though Alyssa's infractions were just to do with how she wrote her name, they had to give her a 1-day suspension for not listening to the first warning. But once her mother found out about this, she would be fuming. Alyssa had been suspended for writing her name in cursive, something her mother took the time to teach her. She begged her mom to teach her when she saw how pretty it was, and she didn't ever think anything bad could happen to show her. But it seems her teacher would think differently and take it out on her with punishment. Jennifer decided to post a screenshot of the note on social media. But she had no idea how her post would blow up overnight. Hundreds of people would be up in arms over the very idea of suspending a girl because she expressed her individuality. But what would the teacher's justification be? Alyssa's teacher did give a reason for targeting her. She told Alyssa and her mother that it would make the other kids feel bad. But that doesn't justify suspending her. And even so, why didn't she give this reason the first time? But Alyssa's teacher would soon feel the heat from all the uproar on social media, and the school would take notice too. It wasn't only Jennifer that wanted justice for her daughter's treatment. It seems that everyone that saw the post would make a difference. Their relentless comments in support of Alyssa would ask for the teacher to be fired. But that's not what Jennifer or Alyssa wanted. They wanted something entirely different. All Jennifer wanted was that both the teacher and the school gave formal apologies to her daughter. Then she would be satisfied. It was unjustified to take such drastic action against a 7-year-old that merely wanted to express herself. But it seems the teacher wouldn't apologize. She would take action and do something that no one expected. After all of the backlash from the community after the post was shared, Alyssa's teacher decided to resign from her position at the school. She probably wanted to get away from the exposure that she had received. The school also decided to give Alyssa and her mother a formal apology for not letting her express her individuality. Even though Alyssa had already been given the suspension and they couldn't take that back, Jennifer was just glad that her daughter could express herself through writing in cursive. She should be rewarded for her putting in the extra effort instead of punished. Jennifer also took satisfaction in the fact that her daughter taught the school a valuable lesson. Individuality is important and should be expressed whenever possible. It's important to the development and esteem of a child. If they're ahead of the curve, they shouldn't be stigmatized for it. Alyssa got to continue writing her name in cursive, small freedom that boosted her self-esteem. And she even started teaching anyone in her class that was willing to learn. It also seems that her new teacher loved that she was sharing her knowledge with others in the class. Overall, it promoted friendliness and sharing, which are two important factors in the classroom. But Jennifer wasn't the only parent to tango with the school's administration and teacher regarding a suspension. Disclaimer: to protect the privacy of those depicted, some names, locations, and identifying characteristics have been changed and are products of the author's imagination. Any resemblances to actual events, places, or persons, living or dead, are entirely coincidental.